Welcome to Opinions Like A-Holes, everybody, your favorite pop culture podcast where we have opinions and most of them stink. My name is Michael Zampino. With me, as always, is Hilton Price.
Excited because the internet is wrong.
The standing Hilton Price.
Standing up to make my point. I've been thinking about this for 48 hours. The new Marvel movie, The Marvels, is good. Don't believe the trolls.
Oh!
Boom. I can't tell you how happy I am about this. And not just because I love Captain Marvel.
Sure.
I do love the character, and I loved the first movie, even though so many people didn't. And they're allowed to not like it.
Yeah, they're
That's
allowed
totally
to be
cool.
wrong.
Everyone's, not even that.
Was
They're
the first one the one with the chick?
with Brie Larson.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of
I
fun.
actually saw that.
Did you like that one?
Yes, I loved it.
I loved it too. A lot of folks didn't. They thought she was too cocky or whatever. And hey, whatever, man. You get your opinion. But because of that, and because of the pushback, I wondered if this movie was just not going to get the love and care it deserved.
Sure.
The director, I think it's Nia DaCosta, did a hell of a job. It is an awesome movie with a great cast, fun fight scenes, pretty good special effects, a couple of plot holes, and a weak villain because, hey, man, it's Marvel. They're going to flop a few things.
Sure.
But it's a fun time, and especially as we get into a good time to watch movies with Thanksgiving and Black Friday coming up, a lot of families getting together. It's solid for families, and it's got a good young lead in Iman Vellani, who's Miss Marvel, and who is really, and I'm stealing this from a lot of the reviews, has got a very Peter Parker quality about her.
Sure.
Both in the young hero, willing to face tough obstacles, and in the kind of looking up to the others around her. In fact, that is probably one thing that I will warn the naysayers. She fangirls a lot. You're going to get annoyed by it. But I thought it was charming as hell. I thought it was cute. And we all know the hero that if we got to stand next to him in real life, we'd be like, my God.
I was just about to say it's accurate is what it is. It's like,
true.
It's how it
that
a
can
teenage...
go any kind of way.
Maybe that's why, though, it reads a little cringy to me, is because it does very much play at my core, which is like, oh, yeah, I would totally do that shit, too. You know? Very specifically with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, because I do think she kicks ass in the role. And she was a lot of fun in it. Got to give one
She
quick
kicks
shout
ass,
out.
period.
She does. She does.
Yep.
Envy Adams in Scott Pilgrim. Just about anything she's done has been great. Also love Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau on the heels of her appearance in WandaVision on Disney+.
Did you ever see Room?
No,
the movie she
I've
did?
heard about that.
It's intense.
I've heard a lot about
It's
that.
an incredible movie.
Yeah.
She was outstanding in that movie, and the kid was lights out good. If you've never seen Room, it's one where, like, definitely, trigger warning. You need to be emotionally prepared. It's kind of
No,
a dark.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I tell you, life is too stressful. I can't even hardly do. I can barely stray beyond comedies.
Oh, yeah. I feel that.
I do comedies and sometimes dramas, and the whole time I'm like,
I do the same. Heavy dramas, sometimes I do avoid them because I'm not looking to carry that weight. I've got enough BS in my own life.
Oh my gosh,
I don't
yeah.
need whatever's happening.
I'm like, why do people like? How is this supposed to entertain me? It's just elevating my anxiety to the. Yeah. Anyway,
Hilton, who we
introduce
talking
you.
to?
Our guest this week, Jill Johnson's with us.
Hi,
hello,
Jill.
hello.
Comedian, artist, soon to be expat.
Yes, expat. I love that.
That's a
fun
great
term.
term.
I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that. I love that. I love that.
So,
And we say that because you were recently released from the New England Patriots.
yes,
Yeah.
She did that. Yeah, a
I
hell
was
of a
linebacker.
Linebacker. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know because I'm not a football guy. So.
Yeah.
But
I'm
she
not
has been
either,
picked
but-
up by the European Football League.
Yeah, to go play some football as compared to football.
Give me
right.
some Brett Goldstein.
There you go.
Yeah, you're.
Do you know who that is?
He was Ted Lasso's favorite.
Roy Kent.
Nice.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
I'm only 2 episodes in. I don't know.
Oh my God.
He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where.
I
He's
gotta
every
watch more.
fucking where.
So we've talked about my Ted Lasso problem, which is I got Apple TV free for a year, and then I never used it once, and then I got it renewed free for another year. I never used it once.
Oh my
I
God.
finally canceled it after 2 years of free because I didn't want to pay. Wait. And then a week later, Ted Lasso debuted.
Premiered.
Oh, it premiered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, fuck you. I will never watch this show. And then finally, 2 months ago, I got a new phone. And then I just a couple weeks ago, I got a free 2 months of Apple TV. So I'm going to binge the entire damn
Oh my
series.
gosh.
But I'm only 2 episodes in, so maybe not.
So my friend that I'm living with, she and her husband are big Lasso heads too, and that's like what she'd watch at night before bed every night. Just like she's seen the whole thing several times, And every time I'm walk into the kitchen, she's watching. I'm like, what episode is it? You know,
Nice.
Yeah, I do that with The Office. That's my nightlight.
yeah. Lasso is fucking mind blowing, but that's
So
not
good.
what this show's about.
No.
This is about The Office.
No, not this one.
Oh,
we're talking about
Hilton's other show.
right,
the Marvels.
right.
Talking about the Marvels.
oh, right. This is
So tell me more about the villain. That's what I want to hear about.
The villain in the Marvels?
Yeah.
well,
Because you said a weak villain.
Yes.
And it immediately made me think that, like, when you really
bad.
think about the entire... I was thinking about the entirety of villains.
The character development is weak for the villain.
Okay.
It
but
hits
some
the major
villains
beats.
are just kind of weak, to be honest.
Her motivation is there. What she's trying to do is explained, and she comes. The stuff that happens or whatever, and so it's not that it's missing anything. It's just that it feels very much like they just kind of said, all right, so she's got to try and take over the galaxy. How's she going to do it?
Right.
And
I was just thinking
well,
more
didn't
over
she
on
have
the...
to defeat her teacher, her mentor guy. That was like
in the first movie,
right?
She fought
So,
what's his name's character? I don't remember who.
He's talking about the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so who's the villain this time?
The villain's name is Darben. She's a Kree warrior. Kree is the planet or the species that Carol thought she was or was part of in the beginning of the first movie. And she, without getting too heavy into spoilers, Darben is seeking revenge on Captain Marvel for something bad that happened at Hala, the Kree homeworld, because of Captain Marvel. And it does tie into the first movie, and I won't go any deeper than that.
So I was just going to just briefly touch on, like, thinking about the overall roster of superheroes and villains in general.
Okay, so you're talking about weak villains in general. Okay, what do you
Correct.
got? What do you got?
Well, I was just thinking that, like, when you stop and think about it, like, obviously we remember far more superheroes than we do villains.
Yeah.
And that's because there are a lot of villains that are pretty forgettable, you
They're
know?
formulaic.
They're
Sort of. And there's just some that, like,
and they rarely last movie to movie.
I'm not even talking about movies. I'm talking about in the comic books and just the existence of superheroes, period.
Okay.
Like the existence of their characters, not in the movies. Just, like how there's obviously the big ones,
Green Goblin, Lex
Dr.
Luthor,
Doom.
the Joker, Doctor Doom. Yeah.
Right. But then there's
Doctor
a lot.
Doom's a relatively deep cut too, so I love that. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Doom's one that I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I was a Fantastic Four guy for a little while.
Because you're a smart man. That's
It's
why.
good stuff.
The best.
But yeah, there's just some where either they went for an idea for a villain that was either kind of goofy or just didn't last or didn't hit. It's harder to come up with good villains, I feel like, and that's why we don't have as many that are as memorable and iconic. But
yeah.
the ones that are. I mean, like the Joker, obviously.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit it, you really fucking hit
Man,
it, and then
DeVito's a
it's hard to
penguin.
recreate it.
Yeah, exactly. The
I
penguin.
mean, that was some style. That was crazy.
Well, and the ones that stand out typically have layers to them. To continue with where you're going, Danny DeVito's Penguin in Batman Returns, with the idea of previously being Gotham elite, being abandoned by his parents, being raised by animals, having the deformity, being manipulated by Christopher Walken's Max Schreck during the course of the film.
Being unloved.
Being unloved. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the human
exactly.
condition.
Yeah,
and
it's,
it makes it can create villains.
Yeah,
if they're never loved and taught how to communicate their feelings.
Well, and you understand why directors and storytellers often try to explore the villain. Mm-hmm. Take Todd Phillips'
Yeah.
Joker movie, which I'm not. There's plenty of things to complain about that movie, but
I
trying
haven't
to
seen it, but it looks
thought-
amazing.
I thought it was pretty great.
I'm always really moved by just the snippets that I've seen.
Yeah, well, because the idea of the breaking down someone's psyche and it leading to changes, even dangerous or harmful changes, is powerful filmmaking.
Yeah, and also what happens when no one's around to see your red flags and no one's around. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot to be said
Yeah.
about that movie and what they did with it. And the ones that are really butthurt about it are the ones that didn't get the comic book part that they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that Joker movie was way less a Joker movie than it was.
It is
a social commentary.
it's falling down in Gotham. It's what it is. It's the Michael Douglas movie.
Yeah,
Falling
I
Down,
remember
where
Falling
he reaches
Down.
his breaking. It's
I
about,
fucking love that movie.
It's about reaching your breaking point, but it's just set in Gotham.
He just wanted breakfast.
Hey man, don't we all?
Just give him a fucking-
good breakfast.
Man.
Changes your day. Changes your day.
Give him a McMovie or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it was.
What's your breakfast pick? I like eggs Benedict.
Ooh.
Nice, dude. That's what you got to work for.
Back
Dig
in
it.
the day when Bourbon Street was on 15th,
Yep.
Yeah.
I would go there every Saturday or Sunday for brunch, and I'd get their salmon eggs Benedict, and it was so good.
Remember that? Wow.
And,
I'm a
and
big
then when
biscuits and gravy boy.
I can't
love biscuit and gravy.
I can't do that much bread anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it hurts.
Oh, I
me.
shouldn't.
No, I mean it literally like I become
gluten.
like I go paralyzed. I'm like
I'm a glutton for gluten.
Yeah, my body just doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm a real gluten glutton.
Yeah, that's
Man, I love me some
Guys,
gluten.
did you not hear my joke? I'm a
Gluten glutton.
I didn't hear it.
yeah. All right. Well,
They heard it.
Gluten
They heard it.
glutton for the win.
I'm so mad.
This is the most weed I've smoked in ages.
Yay!
I don't know what you're talking about.
We
Watched a couple trailers.
We watched a triple
Oh,
thread
I
of trailers
love
this
them.
week.
and a fun documentary conversation with a great actor.
Yeah, absolutely. So Inside Out 2, we've established that you have not seen the first Inside Out.
I mean, it's me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Wow, you haven't. You
I don't
don't
see
know.
movies.
Oh,
I do that.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's one worth seeing. I really, really like the way they approach
I like
the
how I just
subject
said-
matter.
I don't see movies immediately after starting the show.
Yeah,
with
no,
a movie review.
you don't see those movies. You don't see those movies.
Those movies.
Yeah,
that
the
sounds
one-
offensive. People being racist against Pixar.
Well, it's you being racist against children.
That tracks. Inside Out 2. And the first Inside Out, of course, the whole emotions thing. They really had a great out for a second one with the child growing into a teenager.
Oh yeah, yeah. You bring puberty into the mix, and you get new characters. You get a whole new story.
You get new
Did-
emotions.
this kind
You saw
of
the
this
first
kind
one,
of storytelling. Yes, I
Okay.
did. I loved it so much.
It's so good.
I love Amy Poehler so much. Oh,
Richard Kind's character was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Bing Bong.
yeah.
He plays a character named Bing Bong.
Yeah, the imaginary friend, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
so good. It's so
Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
that's what
But
the-
you know, I think this kind of filmmaking might be the thing that we are actually doing right for our kids.
good. Yes.
because you know we're probably the last generation of the super fucked up, emotionally stunted people who don't know how to communicate. We're all learning now and discovering
Of all the
that
things-
our whole childhood was a lie.
Well, it's like of all the things we were taught, dealing with our emotions and being able to understand our emotions was not one of them.
it was no priority. It was
Nope.
how dare you with your emotions? You know.
Now get to home ec.
Well, and as but still, as since we kind of grew up or we were hitting adulthood as the kind of internet age was taking over, we have been one of the first adult.
That's what we're
groups
giving our
to adopt
children.
it.
Yes, you know, I try to influence my dad because you know I always thought he was Mr. Positive and everything, but it could be the dementia or old age, whatever. But he started just really saying some things that got me like, "What are
Yeah.
you talking about?" You know. All the people that punished me for my bad behavior when I was a kid are Trumpers now. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I let you punish me
Yeah,
for being
yeah.
bad.
For being a child.
Was our home fascist? What's happening
you
here?
know? But I'm talking like my Sunday school teachers and oh God.
I just remember, like, as a child, how normal it was for, like, dads to just smack a kid in the back of the head for just being hyper, you know? And it's like a kid just being a kid and getting smacked around for it and how what that does to your
Yeah, but
emotional processing.
I got to tell you, getting smacked around was the least of my. I felt like I earned every smack.
Well, I just meant in general, like the idea of punishing a kid for being a kid. That happened a lot.
Exactly. Well, you guys touched on three things in rapid succession, talking about just the physicality being used for discipline, which is wrong. Not understanding the nature of childhood and treating it as an error, which is wrong, and the idea of not having any kind of like context of like fixing a problem, just bam, wrong.
Yep.
There's no guidance there. There's no learning.
Yep.
So it's wild, and that's kind of one of the most complicated things that I see about us as individuals who are seeking greater emotional understanding, greater depth to our emotions. Is we're dealing with so much that weeding through it makes it harder to do. This problem, these emotional challenges that we face as millennials and Gen X who are growing older and trying to raise another generation the best we can, is there's a ton to unpack.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know how often throughout my kids' childhood I would say, "Oh my God, was this the thing I did that is going to be the thing that you fucking are in therapy about in your 20s? About your horrible mother doing? Is this the thing? Is this it? I'm so sorry."
Oh yeah, I think about that all the time. Anytime I
I apologize all the time. I mean, I would, having to be both parents.
Yeah.
I had to be the heavy and the comforter.
Yeah, sure.
And it was like totally being schizophrenic. She would, I'd scold her, whatever. And then like an hour later, I'd be in tears feeling so bad.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, "I'm so sorry."
There's
we
been a
would just
couple-
both like hug it out.
There's been a couple of times where I've kind of, gotten loud with Eleanor, and one of the things that I've always done with her from very early on is when I really want to talk to her about something, I make sure and I get down to her level. You get down on one knee or whatever you need to do to where you're eye to eye. And I always take the time to say, "Hey, I need you to know that I was wrong in reacting that way, and I'm sorry for that, and I don't want you to think that that's the right way to react to things."
I got to point out real quick how tough that is.
Yeah.
As a parent, to speak so vulnerably to a child, because you're dealing with a kind of a placing of your authority and setting it down and aside for a minute, and that can be very challenging and scary to parents.
But acknowledging them as a human and speaking to them and not condescending and not censoring or making up some fairy tale.
Just being
Or
direct.
and
Just
not
being
presenting
honest.
yourself as infallible.
Right. Yeah. Also saying, "Oh, that made me feel like this."
It's easy.
And I'm so sorry. I should have reacted this way. And
It's so easy to try and parent by making a child do. This is parenting by showing a child how to do.
Correct.
It takes
and just
letting your hands
explaining the
off
things that
wheel.
were kept secret from me.
Yeah.
I could always tell when I was a kid and adults were like, or whatever, totally doctoring a conversation for my ears. And, and it was so insulting.
Yep.
There was this patronizing, condescending way, and it didn't make me trust them because they didn't trust me enough to just
That's why
be real. around me.
even things like I don't dumb down conversations with Eleanor. I just talk to her like I would pretty much anybody. And if I use a word that she doesn't understand, I stop and I explain it to her. And then I get told by her teacher that she's using it in conversation in class, and then explaining what it means to her classmates, and that's how I know I'm fucking killing it.
Yeah, a good vocabulary is.
She's got a huge vocabulary for her age, and a lot of it is because even if I'm not talking directly to her, if I say a word she doesn't understand, she'll ask me what it means, and I'll explain what it means, and I'll find a way to identify it to her, and she remembers.
That's great.
Yeah.
That kid memory is not to be ignored.
Exactly.
Kids they're like a sieve, man.
If
They
you
suck
just take
in
that extra
I
second.
just heard a whole thing about how damaging it was for so many kids to be during the COVID lockdown trapped with their parents, who I mean, let's face it, parents aren't trained in how to deal
No.
with little children. All we know is the dumb shit that was done to us, and then maybe what we've seen our friends do, and kind of adapted some adjustments. We're learning as we go.
Well,
but
yeah.
Not having them around early childhood developmental specialists, and peers, really stunted them, and it's created this. Now they're like in first grade and second grade, and they're violent and they're ill behaved. They are completely out of control.
Yeah.
The teachers cannot.
Yeah.
I mean, like their hands are pretty tied.
It's like we're gonna have probably
And-
like 2-3 years of kids that are just gonna be behind for
This
a bit.
woman was like, I don't know what to do. She runs a early childhood school or whatever, and she said I had 2 teachers just straight up walk out
Sure. Yeah.
a couple days ago.
it's
Like, I
probably
cannot handle this. I did not sign up for this, because they get, they try to help correct it, but then the kid is, uncooperative, and then you call the parents, and the parents are like, what do you do to my kid? My kid doesn't do anything wrong ever.
Yeah.
Don't you talk to my kid that way.
And
Hey, just because my son brought my knife to your school and stabbed somebody does not mean he's a bad
He
kid.
didn't know what he was doing. He's
You
just a
didn't.
kid.
You didn't notice he had it, did you? Huh? Huh? Now who's it on? Huh?
You are
Huh?
you are so
Principal.
close to slipping into Ronnie Dobbs right now. This
Hey,
is
man,
my
him-
note, I made him a sweater.
Hand me one of them cold beers.
Y'all are brutalizing
Hey, baby,
me.
you hear me up there farting?
Inside Out 2 looks fun, though. We get new emotions, which I guess, I don't know that that's technically scientific. I think, like, your anxiety may just get worse in puberty.
I think that's when the
I-
disillusionment sets in. That's what I call
There
the
it
maturity level. As you're maturing, what is maturity? It is all the veils dropping, and you fucking
Seeing more.
discovering how disappointing everything is behind the curtain. Like, shit.
But I do like for little kids the idea of this kind of building off the initial story of like you getting to know your 5 major emotions. Is that 5? Yeah, 5. And then adding more with puberty. And we meet anxiety in the trailer, but then what's the wording she uses where she's like, oh, is there
we really wanted to make a good impression.
we.
Yeah.
And it leaves you with that. You're like,
They were like,
oh
we.
shit. It's not just anxiety. And here on the poster we can see 4, I think, new emotions for sure.
The only ones that I'm seeing so far that are confirmed is anxiety and disgust, it looks like.
Okay. Okay. And actually, that does remind me.
Embarrassment,
Embarrassment. Okay. And the very end of the trailer does run
Fear.
envy. No, fear was already there.
Oh.
through. Okay.
That's-
Disgust
yeah.
is
Disgust was
old.
already there. too.
Disgust was Mindy Kaling in the first movie.
Oh, that's right. No. Oh, so
Yeah.
Mindy Kaling's not going to be in this one. I see.
Well, that's a shame. Glad to see Phyllis Smith is returning as Sadness.
Maya Hawke. Oh.
I don't know Maya Hawke. I
So
saw that
that's
name earlier.
she's the daughter
Ethan
of
Hawke.
Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman.
She's in
Okay.
Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, she's yeah.
she
She's
works-
the one
also
that worked
in
at
that.
I'm only
The sailor place,
Yep,
whatever.
the corn dogs or whatever.
They wear sailor hats.
Yep. Yeah, she was in the 3rd season, and I assume the 4th, which I got to start. Stranger Things season 5's about to happen, or may have just happened.
No, it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Well, it's real soon though, and I still got to watch 4.
I think it's 2024.
Oh, is
maybe.
it? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now.
I don't know everything. But the Inside Out trailer looks cool. I did like the tearing down of the old emotion center by
Demo crews here.
which I feel like that. I think we talked off mic about this. That's got to be hormones.
Yeah.
I feel like,
it's Demolition Day. It's yeah.
and I like the idea of the kind of. I really enjoy the idea of the characterization of emotions and feelings and internal stuff. It seems like it's a fun way to kind of make all that accessible for kids.
Yeah.
Or us dumb,
We
emotionally
all
stunted
we all
adults.
contain all of those different perspectives, and we forget. we forget that we are all of those things, and we just see it, and other people are like, "You're not acting like you, the you that I like."
Yeah, or just judging strangers based on
Right.
just those emotions and forgetting that they're as well-rounded and complex as we are.
Yeah. I make up a story about everybody in my head. I like create a whole backstory for every person I come in contact with. Like, this is why I have to love this person,
Okay,
That's a good approach, though.
I got a little bit of info between the pandemic and the writer's strike.
Yeah.
The earliest we're looking at a release date is, quote, well into 2024.
Oh, wow. For Stranger Things.
Torture.
Could potentially be
Stranger Things. No, I don't care.
Could potentially be
I've never watched
2025.
I'm surprised. I really thought that I saw something that it was coming like real soon. Huh. All right. That's wild.
Do you guys watch The Bear?
This story
Not yet.
This story came out on November 7th.
Okay. What about The Bear? Did you watch The Bear, Mike?
I did not watch The Bear.
That looks good. And who's the star on that? What's his
Oh
name?
my gosh, I don't know his name, but
I can't remember his name either, but he's playing Kerry Von Erich in that new Iron Claw movie with Zac Efron.
Yep, Jeremy
I
Allen
love
White.
him.
Jeremy Allen White. That's
And
it.
I love Ayo Edebiri.
Okay.
She's amazing. And she's also she's in something else that what was it? Click on her for a second.
Oh, sure. Got it.
Because she's simultaneously on something else that's
Oh, is it
super
Abbott
badass.
Elementary? I hear about that one too.
Well, that one, but
Where's pulling up the wiki?
Film or TV?
What We Do in the Shadows. Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's such a good show.
Wow, she was a writer in that. Oh, I was gonna say I don't remember seeing her in it.
So she's the actress that took over
She does
Missy
so much writing.
on Big Mouth, which
Okay.
was the one that Jenny Slate was doing, but bowed out of because she didn't feel comfortable voicing a person of color.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
And
good.
so she took over the voice of that.
Ioita Berry. Okay. I saw a good article with Jeremy Allen White the other day where he talked about how he had a Marvel interview and it went really poorly because he very much went in with the attitude of, why should I do this?
Right.
And Marvel's executive producers were like, well, because obviously it's the MCU. And he's like, well, yeah, but superheroes, who gives a rat's ass? Which I'm a major superhero fan, obviously, starting the show talking about the Marvels, but I think that's such a great attitude to have. Like, we need that. Like, we need
It's
actors to
punk
be
rock
like,
as fuck.
yeah,
It's so punk rock.
we need actors to be like, it's just not for me.
Honestly,
Good.
like,
It shouldn't be for everybody, you know?
I have been that way to a fault my entire life, where there's been several opportunities that I probably should have taken that I haven't because of my pride or morals or whatever you want to call it.
Well, and,
I'm let's just say I'm very quick to quit a job if our morals don't line up.
yeah.
And that's not always
Yeah,
a smart
man.
move.
But you know
financially.
what? No, it's not. God, unfortunately.
But
It's,
But I can't.
you know,
it's
it's
a
the
smart
people
move
who
sleeping
aren't
at
aligned
night.
with ethics that have all the money.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, and that's been the scary thing the last few years. I think, especially for idealists like us, who are also getting older and as we are going more and more into adulthood, is seeing how much of that corruption and
Man,
that
I'm
rewarded
sick of
corruption
everybody's
has
bullshit.
grown.
I'm
over the
just so
years.
sick of everybody's bullshit and everybody passing it off like I'm supposed to take it seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
that's I agree, and that's
I'm
hand in hand.
insulted and fuck you.
Well, we've seen it
This
for
is
so
crazy.
long. We've seen it for so long, and we don't see it getting better in many ways. In fact, you take some of the Supreme Court appointments, we see it getting worse. You know, so yeah, so they're just
anything politic related. I mean, clearly, you know, politicians have to be narcissists and
Yeah.
power mongers and what have you, with like, you know, horrible personality disorders, and they're out there making laws about who can do what with who and how and why, and then also at the same time while screaming law and order, they're fucking like bowing down to the biggest criminal who's like obvious. He's not even sneaky about it. He's like, I grabbed that bitch by the pussy.
that's a good point.
That's for a different show, though.
and not just it with him, but
But
a
not-
lot
yeah,
of
but,
a lot of people who
globally.
do bad things wear it on their sleeve now.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
they
for us.
project it.
For those of us who grew up seeing that corruption, to see it more forced and owned by these
Yeah.
people is very disheartening.
Well,
So-
it's always.
But what I like about Jeremy Allen White and kind of ignoring that Marvel push is one of the things that we've heard recently when it comes to superhero movies is how much non-superhero, non-blockbuster content is being ignored.
Yep.
And we need more
Right.
small-time films. When I was at the Marvels, I saw an ad for a George Clooney-directed movie called The Boys in the Boat about a crew team, like I think like a college-age crew team. You know, crew,
Yeah.
the rowing sport crew team that's going up against a German crew team right on the eve of World War II. And this is the kind of like small, kind of more independent, more art house kind of film. It's directed by Clooney, so I see how it still
Sure.
got made, but we need more of that. And
Well,
know-
like what was the movie we saw the trailer for with Paul Giamatti?
the Leftovers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one we talked about when Chuck Foxon was on
Yeah,
the show
yeah.
just a couple weeks ago. And those kind of movies, we need to see them. We need to support them.
You know, I don't go to the movies very often, but we have so many streaming services now that offer up like totally off radar
Yeah.
content that is amazing. You
Yeah.
know,
That's where a lot of the lower budget and independent
Yeah.
films have gone to is like, okay, I know we're not going to get the theatrical draw that you know, because we're up against all these movies, but we can pull some streaming views for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and there's multiple avenues to try and find success for a project. And streaming should be viewed as an alternate avenue. But we still have to we can support blockbuster movie theater experiences and powerful at-home
you
streaming
guys,
experiences.
I didn't go see Barbie.
I didn't either, unfortunately.
I wanted
I'm disappointed in
to.
myself.
I wanted to
I took a picture
from
in the
day
box.
one.
I did.
I mean, I was so like, I watched every clip. I watched every interview. I'm like,
Yep.
so like, God, I
I've
can't
s-
wait. And I, honest to God, when I had the money, I could never find anybody that wanted to go with me. And I could have done it alone, and I probably should have.
Yeah.
But motherfucker.
I have become such an alone movie guy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to go see it, the rest of the world just can't bend to you.
Right.
And especially if it's something unique and weird, I want to throw my dollars at
I
it.
went to a fucking NBA game by myself.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to the
Wow.
Thunder game by myself.
That's cool. What was that like?
It was a trip, kind of.
Was it? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. So Becky and the kids were out of town,
Yeah.
and they had gone to visit Becky's parents. And I had to work that Friday. They'd left on like the Wednesday night, right? And I had to work Thursday and Friday. Thursday, I get off, and I'm like, oh shit, the Thunder's in town for their preseason game against the Pistons. I'm gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
And so I just got online. I found one seat by itself right on the aisle, right in the lower section, you know, and just went to the game by myself. That's where I got my badass new Thunder hat, and it was great.
This is wild.
Yeah.
I love doing things by myself too.
I do too, but
That
I've
was
never thought to do something. This was
that
what
big. It's
this
a-
was at BOK, right?
Yeah, this is
To
is
go to a
an NBA
stadium
game.
by myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a rock concert by yourself.
I went to
Oh, yeah.
South by Southwest by myself.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, I know
A
people.
festival.
Oh yeah. I also one year I was like, I hate New Year's. Every year it's like, oh, well, New Year's, and it gets there and it totally sucks every single time. You know, and I was like, this year's not gonna suck, and I fucking took myself to Austin and just I called up this fucking dude that I've known forever, and he happened to be in an okay, stable-ish kind of situation, and said, "Yeah, come stay here. Or I'll, you know, my roommate will let you use his room or something."
wow.
Yeah, and like I called a cab, went out. Somebody gave me some ecstasy. Yeah, I had the time of my life.
Hell yeah.
I bet. And there's something so fun about the adaptability of traveling solo.
Hey, I
you
also-
can go
You know, I
and do
talk to
wherever.
people, whoever's standing around me.
Yeah, you're a good conversationalist.
Yeah, I never shy away from a conversation, and so
Well, on my end, you know, I used to very much be that person, especially when I drank.
Sure. Yeah.
And after I quit drinking, I slowly but surely every bit of anxiety that I used to drown out with alcohol came, viciously back.
Yeah.
So there was a big chunk where the idea of going to an NBA game by myself was out of the fucking question because I would have had a panic attack.
Yep.
So I also saw that day that I just decided on a whim to go to an NBA game by myself, did it, had no problems. I saw that as a huge step in my, journey of conquering anxiety.
I imagine.
The fact that I was able to, and I did, and had no problems, had no, panic issues, and it was great.
I think it's a cool story. I'm gonna make it kind of a personal plan here sometime soon to do something like that. Go to an event that I would normally never consider going alone.
I think I get a lot more out of it. People watching and kind of like, I need time to recalibrate every so often because what we're fed in every direction is so canned and just to get out and remember that we're all people, like, that old man and his son and his grandson all dressed alike and whatever. Like, how beautiful, it's so great to see people getting out to enjoy something like that. Now, it just gets scary when they become the kind of fans that are violent,
Yeah, no, that's ruining sports culture.
But
I would like to take you to an NBA game sometime.
Okay.
I know you're not a big sports guy, but NBA games live are
about fun.
Oh my god, it's so exciting. So
most games
fast-paced.
live, even
it's not like it's not like because even baseball live can be
Baseball can
slow.
be slow. Sure.
I went to
I've been to
an
baseball
Angels
games
game
before, in hockey.
in
Basketball's
San
nonstop.
Francisco.
Yeah.
It's the fucking best. It's the
You
best.
saw the Angels in San Fran?
And
Angels and
Candlestick
Giants.
Park.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. That's a pretty stadium.
it's not
It
there
was
anymore.
No,
yeah, it's
I
not.
know.
It's true.
I know. I felt really
How long's that been
honored
now?
to get to go there.
Oh, it's probably been 20 years or more. Let's see. No, maybe not. Let me look and see.
It was
when,
during the LA riots.
That's when they got rid of the park?
I was no.
that's what
That's
you
when
did.
I was there. Like
They tore it
the
down.
tail end of that.
Live sporting events that I've been to in the past, even when I haven't.
2014.
Yeah.
So it's been 9 years.
Almost
since-
a decade now.
Yeah, it
That's
was
wild.
demolished in 2015.
That's 2014 is the year I started the
year of our Lord.
using the insurance company that I'm with now.
Candlestick was a dual purpose.
Okay.
49ers
Was that one
and,
for candles?
and the Giants.
No
played there.
candles. Nothing for candles.
No candles.
Was it ever
anymore.
owned by Was it ever Yankee Candlestick Park?
I think it predates Yankee.
Oh, the Yankees? No, the Yankees have been here forever.
Yankee.
They're America's team.
Yeah, Yankee candles. Oh man, that would.
Yank my candle?
I'll give a candle.
Don't.
Please Don't Destroy. I didn't know about Please Don't Destroy, the comedy
neither.
troupe, but they've got a new movie, The Treasure of
Oh
Foggy
my
Mountain.
gosh, that looks so fun.
So you didn't know about them at all?
Oh, maybe I've heard of them.
Okay.
Obviously, it being comedy adjacent.
Post
As
show,
I can be being
post
a
show.
comic.
I want to pull up like one of their.
Are they part of
No, thank
Lonely
you.
Island or no?
No, they're different. They're totally different. This is, but there's been SNL
But
has
aren't
always
they part of the Andy Samberg?
no.
But I would like to see a team up called Please Don't Destroy the Lonely Island.
Yeah, I don't think there's any correlation with them. So
I think I've heard
SNL.
of them.
They're different incarnations of each
Shut
other.
the fuck up. Hold on.
So here's what I'm going to say.
No, SNL, like, you remember back in the day, they used to have, like, the ambiguously gay duo, and they would have the Jack, not the Jack, yeah, they would have, like, the Jack Handy, they would have, like, then the
Those
SNL
were
digital shorts.
Robert Smeagol did a lot of that
Robert
stuff.
Smeagol, and then they had, like, the Lonely Island, and they would do the digital shorts. Like, this is just the new version of that, taking that spot. And these guys were doing this as a troupe pre SNL, and basically SNL was like, hey, we love these and we want you to do them on Saturday Night Live.
And their name is Please Don't Destroy, or
It's
is that
the name
just
of
movie?
their comedy group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's three guys.
Okay.
It's three guys. It's comedians. Ben Marshall, John Higgins, and Martin Herlihy.
Hurley.
Herlihy. All right, cool. But then we saw several other big names in that trailer. We saw Conan O'Brien, of course. We saw the guy from SNL.
There's going to be several SNL people,
Yeah.
for sure.
which let me see if we've got the movie. The movie does not have a page yet. Oh, but I do have an IMDb. Excuse me. So, but yeah, we've got. Oh wow,
John Goodman. Oh,
John
Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things.
Another Stranger Things guy. Good to see. We'll see another
Jordan
one of his
Mendoza,
co-actors
X
soon.
Mayo, Bowen Yang. Let's scroll down maybe a little bit. Oh, God. John Goodman is narrator. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Dax Flame, Jamie Lynn Watson, Cedric Yarborough from Reno 911. Oh, we got an
I
Amber
love
alert,
her.
y'all.
Uh-oh. Amber's missing again?
Cool.
Dax Flame, Marion Green, Cruz Abuelita, who are people I'd have never heard of.
Do you know Cedric Yates?
Of
Or
course
Cedric
I know
Yarborough?
Absolutely. He was from Reno 911.
That's right.
I thought I saw Niecy Nash in the trailer, but I think that
oh
was...
my God. I
Ex
love
Mayo.
Macy.
Yeah.
Niecy Nash is really great.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's good
she's
too.
the
I heard
best.
her show was canceled. She had a
Which
spin-off of
one?
The Rookie, apparently. I
Oh.
didn't even realize.
Oh,
no idea.
that sucks. Did you see Claws?
No.
Oh, do you know about it?
I don't know anything about that. What is
Oh my
that?
God, Niecy Nash. It's CLAWS. Oh my gosh.
It's about like a nail salon, right?
Oh yeah, but it's
But
like
then, like-
Oh, it's a
gangsta
show.
shit. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
gangsta.
It's like the nail salon's like a front.
American
Yeah.
comedy drama? Wow, from TNT. Oh,
She runs it, and you know, the guy
Turner
that
Network Television.
funds it. You know, they launder money and do drug deals, and there's murders, and
it's got
she's
Dean-
always in some deep shit,
Got
man.
Dean Norris, classic cop actor.
Yeah, you should watch a trailer of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see where that's where we can stream that now. I'm kind of curious.
Turner Network Television.
I was gonna say,
God damn it!
I used to have a copy of it downloaded.
Who? What? Are you an evil villain? Are you?
I would like to be.
I would very much like to be. Are you Popeye? I fight to the finish because I eats me spinach. Yarr.
Oh my God, Niecy
Where's
in this
fucking
is so
Joey
badass.
Gladstone when you need him?
She's like,
That poster's fun.
oh my gosh, oh God, it's so evil, bitches.
I'm such a
Love it
sucker
so
for
much.
like neon. Bright.
Me too. It's a high vibration.
Like a moth. I'm like a moth. I love that shit. Give it to me. Hilton, get off the phone.
I'm writing down notes to put on the episode.
Hey, click on one of those and see if it'll show you a trailer.
No.
Do it.
We didn't even talk about the shows we have watched.
Yeah, no, we got to keep
Oh,
talking
where
about.
are we
Okay,
at?
so
Like
please don't
Ghostbusters
destroy.
Frozen Empire.
Well, we didn't even really talk about what this movie is. What the?
It's a treasure hunt. The treasure
Oh,
of Foggy
so fun.
Mountain. It's got the Please Don't Destroy guys going on a treasure adventure.
from their legend
getting-
from their childhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they hid
that's what I-
something in their childhood there.
No, I think what I gathered from the trailer was that this was a legend they heard from childhood, and they're finding out that it might
But it
be
showed
real.
them as children standing in the cave with something precious and saying,
Maybe we need
in
to
a
rewatch
few
it.
years, this will be worth a fortune or something like that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And they were like, a fortune.
What I got is a very kind of a fish out of water kind of vibe. They were very much in over their heads. They're just kind of
Quickly.
geeky, dopey dudes, and
Who
they're
triggered the geeky, dopey chicks
they're getting
at the
fist
camp,
fights and with the women. They're
having their ass handed to them.
wearing the flying squirrel suit or whatever the hell that shit's called, the wingsuit.
Oh, those are crazy.
Yeah, and they're getting scared by hawks. Very silly, very jokey. I got a strong. Who's the Super Trooper guys? Broken Lizard.
Broken Lizard,
I got
yeah.
a strong Broken Lizard vibe off of it with some of the ridiculousness. Or the who are the three guys that did the movie about the guys in the skyscraper? It was on Netflix.
Workaholics, guys.
Workaholics, guys.
Game
Yep.
Over, man.
Yeah,
That movie was fun.
Yeah, it really was. I saw clips of that here, I think, and we
Did you ever end up watching it?
no,
It's worth. I mean,
it's me.
it's worth a watch. It's pretty funny. It was and it's short. It's easy watch. It's really really funny.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
funny.
I still haven't watched the 3 movies I said I was going to watch on the Bread and Hannah episode, so I got to still do all that.
Allegedly,
What were those movies?
you can skip around.
I don't remember one of them, so I'm not even going to start. Also, watch the trailer for
But
Ghostbusters.
it might be on tape.
Probably. Frozen Empire. I didn't know we were getting another Ghostbusters movie. Did you guys even know that?
You
Yeah,
know,
I did.
I heard about it just like in the last couple of days for the first time, and I was like, "What? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
What are they
So-
talking about? Who's what? What? You know?
I had heard that they were going to do another one, but I did not know how far into the process they were. But I did remember hearing that they were going to do another one.
And
I
Afterlife
love
was
that
successful.
though. I
So-
love that. I love that they don't mention it until it's out or
Yeah, right.
almost out. It's like, oh, thank you for not making me suffer in agony for a year.
Did you
wait
get to
on this
see
shit.
the last
Right?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
See, I still haven't seen it. See
I
that-
thought it was great.
Oh, that's actually one of those movies that was on that list.
Yeah, we bought it.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
You can watch it over here if you want to.
Oh, but I got a lot to watch over here.
Yeah.
But this looks good. This brings the bulk of the story back to New York. We've got a lot of a true threat. It's uniquely themed. I mean, typically Ghostbusters movies are just like there's ghosts, and this is like a winter ghost kind of thing.
This is like, it's, see,
He said
I'm
it's
not
the-
really.
It's the chill of death.
Yeah, the death chill.
Yeah, the death chill.
What do you think? What do
Yeah.
you think, Jill? You don't like it?
I mean, I think it's a silly thing, but I'm totally down for the adventure and the fun. And I don't, it doesn't have to be.
Believable.
It doesn't have to be like I'm like a death chill. That's not what I would picture a death chill looking like.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to it.
I
Sure.
picture it more like a colder version of. Have you seen Swiss Army Man?
No.
Oh no!
But the,
Another
the,
one I have to
Daniel
watch.
Radcliffe.
the ghost they saw
Yeah.
as the
at the
farting
end.
cadaver carcass that
Okay.
is like sentient and like
It's Paul Dano with him, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's just the two of them,
Okay.
and they're like crawling through this like swamp area.
Wow.
It's a trip.
The
you
ghost
mentioned
we
this-
see at the end of this actually gave me like Slender Man vibes.
Yeah, very spooky.
Yeah.
And I did like because this trailer seemed very much like the supernatural phenomena was very force of nature esque.
Right.
So I love that they did establish at the end of the trailer that there will
There
be
is
some
a
kind of
being behind
bad
it.
guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
and
So
and
they
the reaction
extend really
to,
beyond ghosts. They've expanded from just dealing with ghosts to dealing with all types of paranormal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
exactly.
it's still a ghost at the end of the day.
It's maybe this is what the ghost does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, but I'm intrigued, which is great for a trailer.
Well, if it can take on physical form,
yeah,
or
is the physical form causing the death chill? Right.
Control weather type shit. That's weird.
But I'm just glad for
you
another
know-
Gozer, another Vigo, another whoever was in Afterlife that I
It's
didn't see.
Vigo.
Yeah, like the buzzing of flies to him. I like Peter McNichol.
Me too.
All right. What we also no, that's it. That's all the
Well,
trailers.
we watched a really powerful interview with Rainn Wilson.
We
or
did.
at least about 10 minutes of talking about how unhappy he was when filming The Office.
And I thought going in that it was going to have to do with being unhappy with the show or people in
No.
it or something to do with that. But it was really more of a sort of a looking inward on not being satisfied.
I got to tell you, I watched this whole thing, and it was just something that came up like on my autoplay.
Right.
I never wanted to watch Diary of a CEO podcast.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I was like, what's that? But it came on, and I had just listened to two other really powerful, things that were mind blowing to me. But then this came on, and I was like, yeah, tell me more about you, Rainn. I need to know. And he went through his life story about how his dad was a
Missionary in Africa. Right?
Baha'i.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And his whole focus was on this peace and blah blah blah. But behind closed doors, his dad was a maniac who didn't know how to express his emotions, and like they lived out in the fucking boonies in Africa.
Yeah, I think it
somewhere.
was.
Indonesia, maybe. I don't
think
know.
it was Africa.
Wherever it was, he was out there and in it, and an oddball there. And then when he's real little, his mom is pieces out because she can't deal with this man's bullshit, and so she leaves and he's without a mother. And so he's just being raised by this dad who is these two completely,
Jekyll and Hyde.
yeah, and who loved him, but in a, pretty dysfunctional way.
Was clearly just a severely broken person. In
Yes,
many ways,
yes,
We got a hurt people scenario.
and confuses, because what we didn't understand about childhood trauma is how that plays out in your life and
Right.
how it informs every thought you have about yourself, and affects your health. What? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, and I'm just now, as a child of the 70s and 80s, who was a latchkey, who was largely unsupervised much of my childhood, and fend for yourself kind of shit.
Yup.
And oh my God, you wouldn't believe the things that I got into, and that
Oh, yeah.
I was the only girl on my block for a long time, and these boys just tortured me. Like, they all had BB guns, and I was the practice. I was the target. Yeah. So I'd have to get really creative, and I like learned to charm big red ants, and I'd throw them in their faces, and they would, but they wouldn't bite me.
The warfare of childhood.
Hey, listen,
But you
eye for
don't
an eye,
realize
baby.
how much of that
Eye for
is,
a red ant.
one time I jumped off the fence and bit through my tongue.
Oh, wow.
And my mom was like, "What? Tongue seal fast," And I'm just like gushing blood, and trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
those-
and it just goes to show, how much Rain had this childhood that had to
Yeah.
lead to unique perspectives as he grew
It
into an
did.
adult. And he really focused a little bit on how unhappy he was with the success of The Office because he was so focused on what comes next. He mentioned movies that didn't do well that he made while
Right.
he was on the show. He mentioned his spin-off project that he didn't get signed up for and he regretted. He mentioned wanting a greater control of projects at Warner Brothers, I think was the
Yeah,
studio.
he said he wanted an
Corner
office at Warner Brothers.
But that's the thing, is we achieve things and we expect it to like change everything and
make you happy.
and then you're like, is this it?
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like yesterday, but now I have a trophy.
Yeah, what he said that I liked was the once then scenario.
Yeah, if then.
If you get this, then you will be.
Or once. It's like once I get to this,
Yes.
then I'll be happy.
Exactly. Yes, it's true. And that's not that, and he countered it by mentioning a very good counter argument where people say, well, $1 million would sure help me. It would. And money offers security and relief. And that's very true, but not necessarily happiness and fulfillment.
Correct.
No, because that is all about knowing your purpose and living in alignment with your conscience. If you're not living in alignment with your conscience, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
Kissing ass and pretending to be this, that, whatever. It only gets you by, you think.
Yeah.
You think you're fooling everybody, but everybody's like, that person is weird,
Sure. Yeah.
And the truth is, most people are so in their own head about their own shit that we're making up what we think they're thinking about us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick some plugs?
Share. Yeah, let's do it. What do you got this week?
You know what my pick is. I've got one track mind when I talk picks. You've got the holidays coming around the corner. You've got family coming to visit. You've got a little bit of extra time. Get your ass to a movie theater. Go see The Marvels.
I thought you were going to say the Nutcracker.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, hell yeah. If you're in the Tulsa area, if you're anywhere close to Tulsa and you need something to do over the holidays, the Nutcracker is going to be running at the Tulsa BAC from December 9th through the 23rd. We've got all kinds of big ticket discounts, so reach out to me personally if you want to make sure and get some good deals on tickets. I'll make sure that you have access to the best deals we have. And of course, Tulsa Ballet has got great stuff happening all year long, so check that out.
Get seats close.
Yeah, there's so much to see. There's so much to see.
Seriously, I took two young girls we had up close, and there was bulges that that these like we were all embarrassed.
I cannot confirm nor deny anything about that.
I'm telling you,
this is a show meant for families and children.
Yeah, you won't have you.
Oh man,
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is not the episode
Keep your
my
coat
artistic
on your
director
lap.
listens to.
Hey, listen, butts in seats are butts in seats. Come on.
That's true. But in terms of personal
help
projects, personal interests,
It's
guys,
so
check
funny.
out The Marvels if you go see a movie. It's a really good time. And there was so much internet hate over this movie just because people either didn't like the first one, didn't like the actresses, or don't like
Women.
Women, exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
how about you
they
just
are-
go and just enjoy it for what it is, and
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm so much less interested in
It's
what
a good
everybody
movie.
hates.
It's a good movie. There's great action. There's good humor. There's a lot of fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And in terms of plugs, got to talk about Starlight Comedy Night. We've got a great one coming up December 8th. So come out and see who Laura and I have lined up for you.
Oh my gosh.
And make sure you're listening to my other podcast projects like OK Geek, where I'll have an even more in-depth review of the Marvels if you want to hear more of my thoughts, including a spoiler-filled review in the second half, as well as a check-in on some of the latest comics projects, including Jonathan Hickman's Gods over at Marvel. And as we get towards the end of the big Batman Catwoman crossover, Gotham War over at DC, I'll have an update on that. And we'll even check in on the big rumor that not one, but multiple Jokers are showing up at the end of that
Jokers
crossover.
is.
With an S. And I've talked a little bit about Jeff Johns and the three Jokers.
One Joker's on.
They're
a lot
gonna
to
do
deal
like
with.
a hologram version of Heath.
There's a series. There's a series called Three
This
Jokers.
isn't a comic book.
That came out 2 years ago. So
Oh.
there's already been some out of continuity.
Some multiple
establishment to this idea.
Jokerses.
So interesting stuff happening. OK Geek is now a semi-weekly podcast coming out about every 2 weeks. So I hope you'll check that out. We also have a new episode of Stories with Mom up over there as well. So if you want to hear some of my mom's stories growing up, that is
Yeah.
a fun one as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The OLA Ministries Network is always going strong. We got lots of shows for you, so check it out. Jill, I know you don't have any shows to talk about, but with a big move coming up, you've got like stuff you're
I have
selling.
so much stuff. You guys, I have been collecting weird shit since 1988. And, you know, I know that some of it is just, you know, I mean, every single bit of it has some story, is so nostalgic in some way.
We talked
but I
about-
have artwork. I have, you know, weird bedding from all over the world. I have like
We talked about concert posters that are signed
oh
by
my
band
god,
members.
I have concert tickets. I have backstage passes.
We're talking about unique.
I have tools. I have postcards from New York in the 90s, like a
You were talking
fat
about
box full.
unique outerwear like Harley jackets and
I
stuff,
have
leather
a
jackets.
never worn Harley jacket from the Love Ride, I think, in 2011 that took place like in I don't know, Las Vegas, California, some shit.
And with your plan to move overseas, you're going to be getting rid of a lot of this
I
stuff.
gotta sell everything,
Yeah.
or you know,
Fire sale.
You've gotta sell
I gotta match
everything.
it with its
Everything
person.
must go.
I gotta
Right.
see it on to its next journey, and I want everything to go to somebody cool.
So if we point people towards your social media page on Facebook, start there.
Yeah, so I have a group that I started called Pieces of Me, and basically that's where I list the things and kind of keep people updated on my progress. But yeah, nobody knows my departure
Say the
date.
name one more time.
Pieces of Me.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they can join that. You know, I am just ready to get a fresh perspective and kind of a palate cleansing of, you know, I don't know. I haven't been anywhere since I became a mom.
Yeah.
I did small things like, you know, South by Southwest or something
Right.
every few years when she was little, but then nothing for years. And I used to travel all the time,
Yeah.
all over the place for concerts and whatever. And I'm itching bad to get out and see the world. And so I'll be living in Wales, Swansea. And you know what people do there just for a weekend getaway? Let's go to Iceland. It's like $50 round trip. You know,
You could go
like,
see
what?
you could go see the like Aurora Borealis. That's a
you
dream
know?
of mine.
Cool.
That is an
Yeah.
actual dream of mine.
Yeah,
well-
Amsterdam's right across the freaking. Yeah.
Zampino, I just want to give you a heads up that in a couple of weeks I've got a friend who's going to be living in England,
Oh, dope.
so we could go hit them up.
Nice. And go on a weekend trip to Iceland.
I hear they
and see
go to
the
Iceland on the
and
weekend.
see Laura Borealis.
You know, Wales and England aren't the same thing, right?
No.
So in a couple of weeks,
He doesn't.
I've got a friend. Actually, I do. I forgot she was going to Wales. Well, and that's one of the fun things, and that they talk about that in one of the early episodes about Ted Lasso. How he goes, how many countries are in this country? You know, because
Right,
the United
yeah.
Kingdom is Wales,
And then there's Northern and Southern Ireland.
exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
Ireland,
Yeah.
Scotland and
Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales.
Yeah. And Wales is positioned weird, like England wraps around it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not like
like a
upper,
little croissant.
lower, or side by side.
Yeah.
It's like a chunk out of the side.
It's very much the kind of countries where you can see how it happened over time, how this was kind of carved out of that one. And they just never took it
It's
back.
still, I mean, it's so like, you know,
It is
King Arthur and
Wales really
and
is-
hobbits and fairies.
Wales is kind of like the Gaza of the United Kingdom, I think. If that makes sense.
the Welsh strip.
You know, Wales had more castles.
Per capita.
Yeah, and their castles were really like
Oh,
Let's go get a castle.
you have a friend you're going to be seeing when you get out there.
yes.
Is it Charles?
Is it the king?
No, and I wish it was Harry,
the
but I missed that boat.
We all wish it was Harry.
I love Harry. I love Harry. He's the best.
Cuter than William.
He's the best. He's the realist.
He's cute. Harry's the one that left, right? That said, "Fuck y'all."
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love him. He's
Yeah.
great.
Because they
he-
didn't like Megan.
Well, and he just isn't gonna pretend that everything was cool when he suffered a fuck ton of trauma. They're so lucky he ain't burning shit down.
Yeah, he's like, my uncle's
He's
a pedo.
very cool. He's very generous. He's very like forgiving and understanding about why everybody's so fucked up the way they
Isn't
are.
Andrew his uncle?
Yeah. oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, my uncle's a pedo. That sucks shit.
Well, let's be honest. It's probably not just his uncle.
No,
Oh, yeah, for
no.
sure, for sure,
You
for sure,
know,
for
it's
sure.
like.
Everybody.
Well, isn't all royalty somewhat inbred? Isn't that the thing
Yes,
that makes
Probably.
them
Yeah.
royalty?
That's how they got it. Yeah. I think they were paying
You-
people for banging the
Actually,
Well, we
couples
are
back then.
treading on some really tough
My
stuff.
fiance is somehow a descendant of Henry VIII, and he looks like Henry VIII.
Henry VIII, I
that a
am, I
compliment?
am.
What about a pick? You got a pick of the week to share with the listeners?
Everyone
You know
is
what?
an Henry.
I'll tell you a couple of my favorite things lately. The Films to Be Buried With podcast.
Oh, cool.
Brett Goldstein.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's great. But I'm completely obsessed with him. And also, there's two other podcasts. One called Family Secrets.
Okay.
Oh my god. You know, shit. And the other one is called The Secret Room. And every episode, somebody's sharing something that they've never really told anybody else. This big thing they've been carrying around, or it's like, and every single one of them, they're like, confessing and like cringing, and also like, how did I live through this? And some of it is fucking wild and also very relatable.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, all of these are really crazy
Yeah.
stories, but you know what? I have stories exactly like them, and
Right.
I never kept anything secret, really.
Yeah, so you don't get to do a Family Secrets
So I'm
podcast.
like, yeah, I just never put it all together in that context. I feel like, man, my 50s, it is like, you know how people always say when you're young, like, oh, someday you'll understand. And I used to hate it when people said that. And truly, as everything's starting to click into place, it's like, what?
Oh, yeah, it's really annoying as every time you realize, like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you start saying it to people yourself.
That is adulthood.
Yep,
Is
that's what it is.
realizing the
Well,
olds
you
were right.
suddenly can see your life and you track back your weird behaviors. And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, that's when
exactly.
that started.
Yep.
All right.
Wow.
How about you, Mike?
I got a couple. Let's see. No plugs as of right now, but keep keep listening. I'll be doing some more shows coming up
Ooh,
soon.
love that behind the scenes tease.
Yeah, I've been talking to our boy Evan about getting another show together. So
Oh fuck.
keep your ears and eyes peeled for that one.
I love Evan.
And of course, keep listening to everything on the OLA Ministries network.
That's great.
Might be some changes coming to Maximum News soon.
What?
So stay tuned for that. And then for picks, I got a couple of them for music. We were listening to some old Eagles of Death Metal today whenever you came over. I love that band. One of my favorite things about that band is it's pretty upbeat and fun. It's not super heavy.
Right.
But it's very stripped down. It's very raw. There's audible mistakes. The guitar's not always all the way in tune. And so it's a very cool, it sounds like you're hearing them play it in the garage at that moment. Yeah. There's imperfections, like I said, throughout it that are very endearing, And
It's improv.
It's Jesse, what is his last name? Hughes, I believe. I might be wrong. And then Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. Great shit. Queens of the Stone Age fucking rules
their
too.
Desert Sessions.
It's so good.
Oh my God. Desert Sessions blew my mind.
And then I have a TV pick. Becky and I just started. Becky and I have always been slightly fascinated by the Kennedy assassination. And there's a new documentary on, it's a National Geographic documentary, but it's available on Hulu and Disney Plus. And it's called JFK One Day in America.
Okay.
And it's so far, it's incredibly beautifully done, both in the way they're telling the story, because they have, they're telling the story through the eyes of a couple of the Secret Service men that are still with us that were there, and through other witnesses that were there in Dealey Plaza, and things like that. They're also visually, it's really beautiful the way they're mixing color and black and white footage. The way that they are, the juxtaposition of the current story that they're telling and the footage of him with his children and the family itself. It's really,
Have you
really
been to
powerful.
the depository?
We have. So Becky and I, we didn't go into the depository. We couldn't that day. We only had the one afternoon there and we didn't have time, but we did take the walk around Dealey Plaza. We went, everywhere around there. And it was incredibly powerful, and we want to go back and go into book depository.
I didn't expect it to hit me that hard.
Yeah.
I was like, my whole life I've been like, yeah. I went in there and I went through the whole exhibit one frame at a time and read everything, telling the story and all the.
The fact that
I
they have the
sobbed
X's on the street.
Oh my God.
Did you know that, Hilton?
I didn't.
Yeah.
So if you go to Dealey Plaza, where he was shot, in the road, there's two X's where the two bullets were fired. Where they hit.
Man.
Yeah, and it really, you don't realize. I mean, I don't. It's so rare now to be inspired by the words of a speech from a politician. And we had that with Obama.
Sure.
We had that with Kennedy. All the Kennedys nailed those fucking speeches and made us feel so cared for.
One of the first things that I said to Becky during that documentary was, my God, I miss when politicians were that eloquent.
Pretended to care.
Yeah,
Well, just
it's orators.
It was
People who could
about
speak.
It was
eloquently.
about the choice of words. It was about the phrasing. It was
It was about building you up.
well, and not necessarily what he was saying as much as
how.
Thank you. It's nobody uses, like you said, Obama is the closest one, the next closest one to have those types of speeches that were that powerful. But the
Kennedys can really make you feel seen. Make
people
everybody
don't
feel
use
seen.
metaphor and I don't know, man. But
There is value to the plain speak movement, but it has led to a dumbing down of discourse.
nobody will. You don't hear. Hold on. You won't hear a line like, we do these things not because they are easy. We do these things because they are hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's
Right.
powerful as fuck.
That is totally empowering people.
Yes.
You know?
Those words make a logical sense, but the structure of the sentence adds a poetry
Yes.
you.
that
Yes.
infuses
Thank you.
emotion
It's
in this logical
eloquence.
statement.
It's poetry. It's yes.
It's
And
having the right cadence.
And we're used to the English
people.
language.
That moves people.
Yep.
That's what it does.
So yeah, that's on. Like I said, you can see it on Hulu or Disney Plus, and it's done by National Geographic. And I believe Becky said it's won an Emmy or two. So yeah, it's really, really, really good. So yeah, and Jill.
Speaking of doing things easy versus hard, Jill, you are preparing to do something hard because you know at your heart it is something you want to do. And I got to tell you, we love that for you.
Thank
we
you.
wish you the best on this adventure. Obviously, as soon as you are stateside again, hit us up and we will get your ass back on the show.
And you know, I when I get there, I have this desire to. There's a town called Hay on Wye, which is a town of bookstores.
Oh, cool.
Every kind of bookstore. They have like a bookstore that's just murder mysteries. They have a bookstore.
And I feel like
they
I can
have
imagine what these buildings
Man,
look like.
Yeah.
you totally. It's a cobblestone,
Yeah,
kind
old
of
cottage
it's all of
looks.
that. Yeah, it's kind of like a Hobbit version of Eureka Springs.
damn it, I wanna-
but it's
God.
all. It's literally. You should look it up.
I gotta
it's
get
called
over my fear of
Hay
flying.
on Wye.
Yeah, you do.
I
And
gotta
it's
get
on
over
a
my-
river.
Ugh.
And I went there, and I've never been anywhere in my life other than Kauai that really, like, the second I put my feet on the ground, I was like, this is my home. This is where I belong. This is where my heart is. And
love
right
that.
where we parked, there was a castle right behind us, right smack in the middle of town. And it has an outdoor bookstore that is just basically eaves over shelves, like two of these walls side by side on the fence, and it's an honor bookstore. You just pick a book and you drop a quid in the box,
Oh, cool.
and
There's a lot there. I love
you know,
that.
but I was like, you know what, and they have festivals. They have literary festivals, all that. It is the center of the literary world, and I want to do open mics there. I want to do storytelling,
I bet.
you know, and I want to interview authors that come through there. 'Cause
Hell yeah,
you
that'd be
know,
cool.
anyway.
Well, we cannot wait to see where the journey's going to take you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for getting to hang out with us before you go.
You're welcome.
You can tell us off mic.
Now I can't. Yeah, now I can't remember. But anyway,
I will
God,
say-
that's because I love you guys so
we
much.
love you too. Thank you for coming. And Hilton, I have an idea.
I don't. Okay.
Next week,
Yep.
I get a bunch of Xanax.
Oh, wait.
We get on a plane
Okay. Oh, yeah.
and we usurp a castle.
Take it from me. I love you.
With Serpa Castle.